Hi, welcome to BRIT'S Tips. My name is Brittany. Thank you so much for being here and pressing play on my video. I give tips on everything to do with managing children. I have a degree in early childhood education. I was home with my children for a while, and now I am back to work. I am a director of a preschool, and I was a teacher for years prior to that. So I have a lot of experience with children. It's what I do, it's what I love, and I give tips. Yeah, I give very general tips on what people can do. So check out my other videos if you haven't before. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. And let's see. Today's tip is BRIT'S tip number 18. Go check out all the other 17 tips that I've given. I would appreciate it. But today's tip is what to expect when your children start school. So I have a few other videos where I'm talking about like what to pack them, what to ask prospective preschools. So today, I guess because I'm in the thick of it, to be honest with you, I thought to make this little video and just to like shed a little bit of light as to what it's really like. So I'm just going to be honest and open about what the transition of our children, my husband and I's children, starting school has been. First of all, we have a 2.5-year-old daughter and a 6-month-old son. They both attend school where I work, which is a nice, amazing blessing. I can't even lie. The fact that, I know the staff and I'm there, obviously that's, it's different. So I appreciate the fact that I'm able to have that. We thank God for that. But I do want to share just some basic things that, if you've never done it, if you never put your children in group care, you just wouldn't know. So first of all, I want to be honest and say that this transition has been really, really difficult. Harder than I would have really thought. I think I mentioned that I was home with my children for a while. My daughter since she was 2.5, and then our son, he's only 6 months. So this whole time frame, I've been out of work and with them. And so there's a lot of different things that I had to acclimate to. But I just want to share some main big ticket items with you. As far as just things that I have learned. The very first thing I want to share is that if and when you're ready to put your children in school, it really doesn't matter if it's a daycare or preschool. It doesn't matter if they're 2 months or if they're 5 years old. Expect that your children are going to be sick for like the first 3 months. And I know that sounds like so crazy. Obviously, it depends on everyone's individual child, but it is really normal for children that are first coming into group care to be sick a lot. Our children have gotten croup, the flu, what else? I can't even, basic colds, snotty, runny noses, the crusty eyes, all of those things. And then it's just like, the thing is, it's like they tend to get sick like back to back. Really, it's just because young children's immunities really aren't built up yet. Their immune systems aren't strong until they get this exposure. So a lot of COVID babies are going to be really sick for a long time because of this reason. So my point in case is, don't be shocked and surprised and appalled. Don't think that your school or wherever you're sending your child, is unsanitary. That could be the case. You should pay attention to how their sanitary practices. But just because they're sick a lot for like the first 3 months or so, it doesn't mean they're in an atmosphere where things are just really unsanitary. It's really just a part of children starting school. And you could imagine, though, my husband and I have also been really sick because of this transition. So expect sickness, expect that they'll be sick, you'll be sick, and you're going to be like, well, if I'm sick all these days, how am I supposed to work this job? Like, how do I keep a job? I legitimately had that epiphany. Like, I was like, wow, how do people work jobs if their children are sick like 2 times a week and they have to call out? So all these just new tensions you realize and you learn about once you experience these things. So point number 1, expect for your child and or children to be sick a lot for the first couple of months. It's normal. My second point is to kind of prepare yourself for however traumatic this experience may or may not be for your children. All children are different, just like all adults are different. For example, our daughter, she's very attached to me. She's very attached to her father. So being in group care, the transition for her has been harder. So when we drop her off, she'll cry, Other children wouldn't. Other children would just go and be totally fine and, say bye to their parent. But I will say, if I'm being honest, initially leaving her, and like when she was crying and very upset, I would leave, and initially I wasn't on site with her. I would have to leave to go to trainings. I would leave some days and be like holding back tears. So on the emotional end, I think, I don't know what people expect or don't expect. I'm just telling my experience. I hope and pray yours is peaceful and that you don't, have a bunch of trauma. I pray your children are not sick a lot. It's just common things that happen. But yeah, expect there to be some level of trauma in just the natural separation. If you've been with your children, even if you're bringing them and they're 3 months or 2 months old, the fact that you've been with them and now you're causing that separation, that can trigger some anxiety and some uncomfortable feelings until you feel safe and until you just are used to the childcare providers you're leaving your children with. So that's my second kind of point I just wanted to throw out there. Don't be shocked, sad, or don't feel like it's weird if your kid is crying. And for a while, for like maybe the first 3 weeks to a month, that they can, they can still be upset. You could still be upset. Don't think you're weird or crazy if you're crying in the car on the way to work. If you're just extremely emotionally distraught, totally normal. And the third point that I wanted to leave you with is a positive one. Although the transition of children starting school can be kind of traumatic, it also is a positive thing. I'm seeing growth in strides in my daughter. Now, Quest, the 6-month-old, very first day, I put him in his teacher's arms. He's just looking at her, smiling. He's been fine from day one. He does not care. He smiles with anybody. As long as he's having his food, he doesn't mind. Now, he's younger and he's on a different developmental level than my 2.5-year-old. But what I was going to say was, seeing your children make friends is like, it's an experience that is just so heartwarming. Like, once again, if you've had a COVID baby that may have been very, isolated. So to have your children be in school and like they're coming home and saying the children's names, they're making friends, to observe them socialize is a big deal. Like, to actually see, let's say, the work that they're bringing home, what they are or aren't doing in school, to have parent-teacher conferences where you're learning about actually where they actually are in the developmental domains for their age. All of those things you don't experience when you're home with them, So it's a whole different world. It can be scary, but there are some cons, but there are a lot of pros as well. So whatever works for your life, whatever works for your family, you do, right? I don't think, some people have perceptions that like group care, and whether it's a daycare or if it's a preschool, some people feel like it's crazy or it's off or wrong or whatever it may be to send children to school. Other people are like, please, I'm getting my kid out of here at 4 weeks. That is a personal choice, and it does matter where you send your child. The point I'm making today is simply just that the transition is a lot. So I was just sharing a few pointers of mine, and I hope that was helpful for anyone out there in the virtual universe of the internet who just would like to have some insight from a mom. I put on my mom hat. I've been a teacher, and now I'm actually a director of a preschool. So my perspective just comes from all of those areas of my experience. And I hope that this was helpful and informative. And I upload content every Monday, so you can check out new content every Monday on BRIT'S Tips. There'll be another tip there. So next week, you're going to see tip 18. Thank you for watching. I would love for you to subscribe. It's helpful, so you can get notifications when I post. And yeah, check me out. If you have any questions, if you want to know anything, like I said, I have a wealth of experience here in early childhood education. So that's from birth all the way through like 8 years and better. And I can answer questions. I can provide guidance. If there's a specific topic you want to hear about, let me know and I can cover it. So until then, I'll see you next week, next Monday. BRIT'S tip number 18, what to expect when you actually start your children in school. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Have a great day.